Hello and welcome to On the Clock, presented by WorkStream. If you care about hiring and retaining hourly employees, you're in the right place. I'm Daniel Blazer, and today it's my pleasure to speak with Ann Falzone, COO of Artemis Wax, which has 52 European wax center locations across 7 states in the northeastern US. We discussed the unique hiring challenges recently faced by her industry, the most impactful changes to her hiring process, why culture is so important in attracting hourly employees, and much more. Enjoy! Thanks so much for speaking with me today, Ann. To kick things off, could you kind of set the stage as far as the hiring challenges that you've faced over the last 12 to 18 months?
So obviously there's a big difference between pre-COVID and post-COVID as far as staffing. I do believe that a big challenge is we employ a lot of working moms who decided to stay home post-COVID and decided that that was probably fit their family life and their financial budget a little bit better than going back to work. That was one problem. The second problem in regards to like estheticians is they need a license, and a lot of the schools shut down during that time period. So I kind of feel like we're still in a little bit of a catch-up mode when it comes to getting estheticians out of school.
Yeah, I can see how that presents a unique challenge. Approximately how long does that schooling take?
It's generally anywhere from 6 months to a year. But let's face it, every industry is trying to catch up. So, those estheticians aren't just going to work to go wax. So everybody's kind of in that catch up mode, I feel like.
Now, you've already spoken a little bit about the challenges created by those schools closing and kind of trying to play catch up. I'd love to hear a little bit about how your efforts to find the employees that are out there, how have those efforts been falling short?
Well, I think everybody communicates differently. And so I feel like this whole generation really likes texting. Nobody likes to take a phone call. That's kind of one problem I think that we were having, is some managers were actually calling people. And I believe that texting is probably a better method of communicating with this generation. So I think that was the biggest obstacle. And I think the second obstacle, and people just don't realize, we get so much scam on our phones that we don't answer the phone when we don't recognize a number. So I think that part of it really helped out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say that I'm one of those who prefers texting as well. Now, I don't want to turn this into a WorkStream commercial or anything like that, but I do know that you have had some success communicating via text message with candidates. Can you speak to the most significant impact that has had?
I think the key thing, and I know I'm repeating this, but it's really the response rate has made us be able to hire and respond quicker. Time frame, I think because we have so many locations, each location kind of has their own hiring issues. Some areas we have absolutely zero of a hard time actually hiring waxers. It's really more the front desk that we have a hard time with. Other areas, it's managers. So I do think the more important thing, especially the scale that we have, is that we're able to see all of our stores and see it very quickly by toggling back and forth between stores. So we're able to have conversations with people. I see you're struggling with this area. Do you need help? Do you need additional resources? And so it's helped in that, manage overall our entire portfolio.
That's awesome. I mean, obviously great to hear that things are getting a little bit better in a really difficult hiring environment. Shifting a little bit away from the nitty-gritty of hiring, I would love to hear why you love your role. Why do you love what you do?
First of all, I love the company that I work for. I've been with the brand over 11 years, and so I believe in our product, and I think we have the best product out on the market. So that makes it easy to take pride in your work, I think. I love the people who work for us. We have a really good organization, and again, I think that's probably the second biggest reason that I take pride in what we do.
If you were to give advice to someone else in a similar situation as you, where maybe they're in a leadership role, they have dozens of locations, and they are struggling to hire hourly employees, what advice would you give them?
First, I think it does also go back to the pride question where European Wax Center really has structure, and you really know where the culture is. And so that starts with, like, when you're hiring, I think that really truly trickles down in the interview process. And so I guess my biggest advice is respond quickly. I think good people get hired very fast. So it's really important to get back to people. And I think you have to schedule time to hire. So you just can't let it go. It has to be responsive and fast, especially in the world we live in.
Yeah, I love that suggestion of making it a priority, scheduling time to hire, because otherwise it just gets put on the back burner.
And then the other thing is, I think in today's world, you have to hire for your future, not hire for today, because you'll be behind the eight ball no matter what way you look at it. You have to plan for the future.
That's such great advice. Hire for the future, not for today. I feel like I want to get a cross stitch of that and put it up in the WorkStream office.
There's always good room in your organization for great productive employees. So you should always be hiring. That button should always be on.
Yeah, absolutely. Always be hiring. I love that. When it comes to attracting and retaining hourly employees, have you found that there are specific perks or benefits that you can offer that make a really big difference?
I do think it's about culture. I'll go back to culture again. Yes, I do think that employees want to be heard today. You have to be accommodating with someone's needs. I do believe it might be a generational thing, and I don't know if I love this generation. I'm kind of a person who really does. They grew up with parents who are on the phone 24/7, and although they like to be on their phone, they want their time respected. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I hear throughout our organization is when they want time off, they want time off. And that's why you have to be hiring at all times, because you have to fill those needs. I think that's the biggest thing, is this generation really wants to be heard.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. And in regards to appealing to the latest generation of employees, have you found that there's anything else that's really important to them?
Well, I also think you have to explain we're on a commission base also. We're not just an hourly. I think they really want to be trained on how they can get to the next level. And they want to know what their future is on a regular basis.
Thank you for listening to On the Clock. For show notes and more info, visit workstream.us/podcast. I've included that link, as well as some links to connect with Ann and learn what she's up to, in the show notes. Until next time, we're clocking out.